am a big dummy, and really for a couple of reasons. So this right here is the Destined Rivals master set. This binder was custom etched for us by the Unlucky Collector. He does all of our master sets. So every set release, we give away one master set to one subscriber. One lucky subscriber gets to take home a master set with everything in it. Destined Rivals was more difficult because we didn't open anything for the store. Normally we'll open up like 25 plus boxes. We didn't do that, so that way we can get more product out there at MSRP. I know, pat on the back, that's great. However, that meant putting the master set together was a little bit more difficult because normally I have everything laid out in front of me and I didn't. So it was really kind of piecing stuff together and finding, talking to stores, looking on eBay, looking on TCG Player, looking wherever I could find prices on singles that weren't like super inflated, so that way I could get this put together and get it out to one of you, within like a few weeks after release. Like that's always the goal, because then you move on to the next set, right? Like Black Bolt, White Flare are coming out in a month, which is like tomorrow. So I wanted to get it done as soon as I possibly could. So I reached out to a storefront. I got all the commons and uncommons. I got all the reverse holos, all the holo rares, and that was easy. That was cake. But when it came to the ultra rares, a little bit more difficult. The double rares weren't bad. Like that got included from the storefront. The illustration rares, also not that bad. I was able to buy a decent chunk of them, but getting everything else and putting it together when you're buying it from multiple different sources was a little bit difficult, and I had gotten to the point where I only needed one more card to purchase, and that was the Rockets Moltres. So I purchased that a few days ago, and then as stuff started coming in, I started putting it together, and we looked at this a little bit more in depth a couple weeks ago, or last week, and then I went to go put it together today before I recorded this video, and just add the few cards that I have, and just be like, okay, then I'll only have the Rockets Moltres left. When I put it together, I was like, okay, so I'm still missing a few more cards. There's still a few cards here that are missing. So this is where the Rockets Moltres goes, and then this is where the Persian goes, and up here is where the Judge goes. And as I'm going through, I'm like, oh no, I'm out of spots. And I still have one card left. I still have this Jamming Tower that needs to go right after the Crobat. So I'm like, what is going on here? I thought this would fit easily. I am a big dummy, and I was literally stressing out, wondering what I was going to do. I skipped a complete page. I skipped a complete page. So I've got to tear the whole thing apart, put it all the way back together. Then I went on TCG Player, looked at my account history. Team Rockets Persian, canceled, refunded. The Rockets Moltres, which I just ordered, canceled, refunded. The Judge is still in transit, I guess. I don't know. That was only a couple $1 card, so it wasn't sent with tracking, obviously. Like, I wouldn't have sent it with tracking either, so it's just not here yet. Hopefully it shows up. But there's still 3 cards that I need to add in here yet. But regardless, tomorrow's video, that's the one you're going to want to pay attention to, because that's the one that you're going to want to comment on and like to enter. We're just going to give it away. I will fill it out. I will finish it, but we can at least start the giveaway. So that'll be starting tomorrow. So make sure, hit that subscribe button down below, turn notifications on, come back tomorrow. That's going to be the big video. But tomorrow's an important video because it's talking about Black Bolt and White Flare, and I think there's a lot of information that I want to share that's really not being shared, that I think is important. So set your alarm, set your phone alarm for tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. I am the corniest YouTube person in the world. I'm not even a YouTube person. Anyways, I want to talk about singles. I want to talk about some special illustration rares. These cards have just crashed completely, which is great. It's awesome for people who want to collect. I understand the market is a disaster when it comes to finding sealed product. And you've got Dick's Sporting Goods selling booster bundles at $35 a piece for Destined Rivals, which apparently isn't that bad of a deal. But when you factor in $9 of shipping, it gets really annoying. That's where apparently all the product is going. And Pokemon is printing capacity. They're printing to capacity. It just seems like everywhere they're throwing Pokemon cards, it's always being scalped. Like, I'm just going to say it like it is. It's just always being scalped. So it's very frustrating, and I get it. But the good thing is, singles are not doing well. I understand it's fun to open packs. I get it. I love opening packs. I've been opening packs for years and years. I've had a business for a long time, and it hurt not to open up Destined Rivals. It really did, because when I saw everything come in, I was like, wow, okay, normally I can just get orders packed, I can get stuff shipped out, and then I can sit down and I can start opening packs, putting together the master set, putting stuff up on the website. And I haven't been able to do that. I wasn't able to do that. I said I wasn't going to, and I didn't, and it just was like, man, I miss opening packs. It was a lot of fun. But if you look at the prices of singles, and I have bought a lot of singles. I've probably spent almost 6 figures over the last month just on singles to stock the storefront because prices are falling so dramatically. When it comes to the special illustration rare, this is the best advice that I can give you when it comes to the hobby. This is it. And it's very easy for me to say say this, and it's very easy to say, and it's much harder to do. But if there's one thing you ever learn from this channel, it's this. Where everybody else goes, you should go somewhere else. Like, that is literally the best advice that I can give you, because every time there is FOMO, there is concentrated efforts and concentrated attention on a specific niche or area of the hobby, that's where you see this giant just increase in pricing, in attention. There's a lot more demand. Like, demand and price increases go hand in hand. If a product is super in demand, the price is going to go up. Like, a lot of people are like, well, why didn't you buy 151 back when it was cheaper? Well, it was cheaper because nobody was buying it, because not as many people were buying it. The demand wasn't there. That's what causes the price changes. When all of a sudden you get a lot of attention on a specific product, that's when the price starts increasing. That's basic economics, right? The supply and demand. That's basically how it works. Why did nobody buy Shrouded Fable when it was so cheap? Well, nobody bought it. That's why it was so cheap. Now it started getting a little bit more expensive because more people started paying attention to it. There was more FOMO created. There was more content created about it. And that's when things started increasing. So where everybody else is going, that's where you can watch it, but don't participate. Go somewhere else. That's really the best advice I can give you. So everybody else is starting to focus on Destined Rivals. Everybody's focusing on Black Bolt and White Flare. There are singles that you can buy to fill out your master set that are falling super hard. And we're going to see blips right here on every single one of these charts, right? Like, you can see middle of May, all of a sudden a bunch of Pikachu EX. That is not indicative of a buyout happening. That is not indicative of manipulation happening. That is indicative of TCG player doing a cashback sale for a singular day where all of a sudden a lot of copies got bought up. And it didn't even increase the prices. For a lot of these, it stayed flat. So if you look at the Pikachu EX, and you might be like, hey, Fanny, this is still too expensive. I don't want to spend $285. Don't spend $285 on the Pikachu EX. This is worth whatever you are willing to pay for it. Don't worry about what the market says it's worth. Worry about your market. Worry about your internal market. This Pikachu EX special illustration rare, really cool, but it's only cool to a certain dollar form and value form for you. So you need to remember that. This card was at $446 3 months ago. It has dropped 35% over the past 3 months. Now, it has been relatively flat since the beginning of May. So over the past month, very flat. It did dip down to $284.91 right during that little bit of increase in sales because of the TCG player sale. But it's been pretty level since then, only at $289.17 and continuing to fall because more and more Surging Sparks is getting printed. And this is the same thing that's going to happen with Destined Rivals. I would not pay $300. I would not pay $250 for a booster box because there probably is going to be more out there. And I'm not saying it's going to go below MSRP or it's going to get down to $110. I'm saying there's going to be more opportunities for you to purchase closer to MSRP. And opportunities is really all you need. All you need is opportunities. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, okay. But that's why it's important for you to go your own path and not worry about where everybody else goes. Here's the Lily's Clefairy from Joureny Together. This card started out over $300. You can see it was at $328.04. This card has continued to fall for a multitude of reasons. Number one, yeah, it is really popular, but at the same time, Joureny Together was ripped open a lot. There was a lot of Lily's Clefairies that hit the secondary market. So a lot of them hit the secondary market. There were duplicates pulled. There were triplicates pulled. Even with special illustration rare pull rates being 1 out of every 72 packs. So basically every 2 boxes, you're going to get a special illustration rare. And I preached this so many times before Joureny Together even came out. Whatever your chase card is, relax. Joureny Together is such a small set that they are going to be pulled time and time again all over the place. Now, Lily's Clefairy is going to have more of an abundance than that Team Rocket's Mewtwo because same pull rate, it's just there's less amounts of special illustration rares in Joureny Together. So the likelihood of pulling a Lily's Clefairy EX is going to be easier, which means more are going to hit the secondary market. Also, Joureny Together is 3 months old now, 2.5 months old. So more and more hit the secondary market. Joureny Together is showing up in collection boxes. That Garchomp box comes out tomorrow, and there's going to be more and more that become available. Now it's down to $150.47. It's dropped 54% since release. Here's the Bubble Mew from Paldean Fates. Even with Paldean Fates climbing, a lot of sealed products still climbing climbing, some of the singles inside are falling. The PSA 10 has fallen a lot too. So middle of March, this was a $353 card. It's a beautiful card, but it continues to fall. Now it's down to $298.32. Not a huge, I mean, 15% is a huge drop. Like, that's a big drop. I know it's not a 40% drop or a 35% drop like what we saw with that Pikachu EX, but if you lost 15% of your worth tomorrow or over the next 3 months, that would be a significant, that would be a significant drop. So this is down to $298.32 and continuing to fall. Pale Day Fates still a little bit difficult to find. Pokemon is doing a good job of adding more specialty products or more of those half sets out there. Like, we've seen more Prismatic, more 151, even more Pale Day Fates. Booster bundles are popping up every once in a while during restocks. I don't know if there's going to be a lot more opportunity to open, but the Mew EX continues to fall. Here's the Salamence EX from Joureny Together. This one has lost a ton of value, even though it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, you got to take it with a grain of salt. It did start out really high. $245.02 was probably overpriced. $125, $130 is where the market kind of actually opened up at. Some of these sales are probably pre-order sales, but even then, it still dropped quite a bit. It's down 67% from where it originally started with pre-order prices, and it's down about 20% from where it was when the set actually released. So it's $81.92, and there's going to be more available as more and more Joureny Together gets opened. Here's the Greninja EX with the crown from Twilight Masquerade. A lot of people go back and forth with the crowns. Obviously, it's your own preference. This is still a beautiful looking card with all the colors in the background, but it was $392.34. Well, 3 short months ago. It's dropped 26.5%, and really just continuing to fall. Even with that TCG Player sale, it didn't drive up any prices at all. Demand not really there. You can see only a few copies being sold on a daily basis. It's dropped down now to $288.43 and continuing to fall. The Latias EX from Surging Sparks, really cool looking card, but down 30% over the past 3 months. And that just goes to show you, when we talk about where everyone else is going, you go somewhere else. Everyone was going to Surging Sparks. Everyone was going to Special Illustration Wares. Everyone was going to alternate arts. And that's why you had this giant increase, because of all this FOMO and all this generated FOMO. And the Latias EX shot up like crazy. Middle of March, it was at $237.23. Well, now it's 30% below that and continuing to fall. So some of these still might be a little bit too expensive, but Special Illustration Wares across the board are falling. Here's the Raging Bolt EX from Temporal Forces. This one was over $100 card. This one was super competitive. It still is a little competitive, not as big as what it used to be. Still a really cool looking card. Has that real prehistoric feel to it. Kind of like that Legends Arceus feel to it. Really, really cool looking card. Middle of March, it was $106. But the market is saying it's not worth that, and it continues to fall. Now, it's leveled out a little bit over the past month or so because of that TCG Player sale, but now it's down to $79.81 and continuing to fall down 21.5%, almost 22% over the past 3 months. Altaria EX, a lot of Special Illustration Rares did get bought up when a lot of people were paying a lot of attention to a lot of single cards. And that's why the single market is so volatile. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you do make the best decision with your collection budget. Middle of March, this was $66.10. Now it's lost 27.5%. It's down to $47.57 and continuing to fall. The Alolan Executor EX, I absolutely love this card. This is one of my favorite cards that were printed during the Scarlet and Violet era. This one's right up there with the Goldango or Goldengo, whatever you want to call it, from Paradox Rift. Special Illustration Rare. I love the Hawaiian vibe to it. It's super cool. Middle of March, it was $58.43. At one point in time when Surging Sparks just came out, it had fallen down to like $60 and jumped back up to almost $100. Now it has continued to retrace and continue to fall. It's down 36% now over the past 3 months, sitting at $35.51 and in falling. A lot of times we just have such short attention spans, as I just indicated, just showed by jumping into a new segment, a new topic right away in the middle of a YouTube video. A lot of times we have short attention spans, so we're always focusing on the next big thing, the next thing, because that's what the content that we see is surrounding us. We watch something on TikTok or on Instagram, a short of a new set, and we're like, well, I really want that card from Destined Rivals, or I really want that card from Joureny Together, or I really want these cards from Black Bolt and White Flare, and then all of a sudden we're like, holy buckets, wait, the Alolan Executor dropped to $35.51. Maybe I should go back and finish up Surging Sparks or add some Surging Sparks pieces that I'm missing because they continue to fall. So $35.51, down 36%, really strong. Here's the Gardevoir EX from Scarlet and Violet. The Scarlet and Violet base set, the Paldea Evolve set, and the Obsidian Flame set. Obsidian Flames in specific, in particular, those all had busted pull rates where you were averaging one special illustration rare out of like every 27 packs, which is way different than what it is now. It was twice as easy to pull a special illustration rare, almost 3 times as easy to pull a special illustration rare in the first 3 sets of the Scarlet and Violet era. So these having bloated prices is very strange and a little sus, because then you know things are happening. Even though this card is beautiful, it's got that storyline, Ralts, Curlia, Gardevoir, it's an awesome card, but at the same time, when you see it jumping up in price, despite the fact that it's a relatively easy pull, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So middle of March, this card was all the way up to $53.39. Now it's fallen back down to $40. At one time, this card was $100, but at one time it was also like $25. So I think it's probably closer to that $30 mark. It might continue to fall a little bit more. Now it's at $40.11, down about 25% over the past 3 months. The Terrapagos EX Special Illustration has gotten absolutely destroyed. It's down to $44.35. This is from Stellar Crown, another set just like Journey Together, which is relatively small, so it's going to be a little bit easier to pull the Special Illustration rares and the Illustration rares, which is part of the reason why that Squirtle and Bulbasaur have taken such big hits, because there's just not many Illustration rares in the set. So even though there's probably the same amount of booster packs that were created for Stellar Crown, you're just going to pull more of the same copies over and over again because there's less of a pool of that specific rarity. Middle of March, this was $74.20. Now it's down over 40%. We did have additional printings, right? Like we had Prismatic Evolutions, Terrapagos, somewhat competitive, but it has fallen a lot, down to $44.35. 40% drop on that one. The Melodic EX from Surging Sparks has taken a big hit. This was a $143 card 3 months ago. It's dropped about 29.5%, down to $100.53. This one's really cool too because the kit said connecting artwork with the Phoebus illustration rare, which is neat. The Pidgeot EX from Obsidian Flames, this one has fallen from $16.19 down to $12.37. It's about a 23.5% drop. Starting to get a little bit more competitive again. Might find its way back into competitive play, which is going to impact the price a little bit, just because it is a relatively inexpensive special illustration rare. But if there's cards from Obsidian Flames that you still need to master that set, that is probably the easiest master set in all of Scarlet and Violet to handle, and probably the most inexpensive too. So if you're looking to add master sets, looking at the illustration rares and special illustration rares from that set that are really falling in price, definitely a good time to look at those. Here's Roaring Moon EX from Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift, beautiful set. This is a really cool card with the Scream Tails on the bottom. Super cool. Middle of March, end of March, it was sitting right around $60.91. Roaring Moon has done decent in competitive play in the past, but has lost a lot of favor. Now it's down 33%, down to about $40.35. The Garchomp EX from Paradox Rift. This one's really cool too, but middle of March, it was at $43.04. Also went through a phase of a lot of buyouts. We did see that TCG player sale impact things as far as the quantity being sold, but did not impact the price really at all. Continue to trend downward. Now it's down over 35% to $27.86 and continue to fall. And this is not it. This is just what we're looking at today. There's a lot of other, even cheaper special illustration rares, like cards from Paldea Evolved, cards from Scarlet and Violet Base, and like I said, Obsidian Flames, that are single digits and continuing to fall. Double-digit cards that are falling into single digits. So if you are paying a lot of attention right now to Destined Rivals, Journey Together, Black Bolt, White Flare, because that's what everybody else is paying attention to, the best thing you can do for your sanity and for your budget, especially collection budget, is to go somewhere else. Really, seriously, like focus on a different area of the hobby that is also something that's really important to you. But if you're going where everybody else is going, that's when things are going to get frustrating, because things are going to get more expensive. Things are going to be more difficult to find. Whereas if you pay attention to some of the stuff that less people are talking about, then you're probably going to be a little bit more happy. So that's just the best advice that I can possibly give. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a really long way for the algorithm, but ultimately, thank you just for taking the time to watch, just for being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with an important video. Until next time, peace!